In today's video, I want to talk about the Snuggle Rebalance, or how to minimize impermanent loss when rebalancing. I'm noticing this is actually wrecking a lot of people, or it's costing people a lot of money. They're setting really tight ranges. They're creating some auto rebalancing of those tight ranges. They walk away, they come back the next day. The price of something has gone down. They've rebalanced a couple times and they've locked in impermanent loss every single time because they're rebalancing the pool back to 50-50. Stick around for this video because this is like our little secret hack. And when you really start working the numbers out on this, it's ridiculous how much better off you are when you are snuggle rebalancing versus if you're just blindly 50-50 kind of traditional rebalance. So we're going to look at VFAT, we're going to look at Defi, and we're going to look at some charts here on TradingView to just kind of lock this in. Let's just say you have a range, and we'll just use Bitcoin here. I'm using Bitcoin because this is basically the range I'm in right now for Bitcoin, 55 on the bottom and 62.5 on the top. And every single day, again, within the first few weeks, looks like I had $1,000 locked in fees that I've earned in Bitcoin and USDT. And now I'm sitting at just shy of $2,000, or $4,000, I'm sorry, $4,000 in fees in this pool. And it's been somewhat in this range. It's rebalanced once or twice, but it's been somewhat in this range. So we're going to use this as the example, and then I'll show you the snuggle. So here we are, we're in range in Bitcoin in this range here. For a moment, it popped out of range here, and for a moment, it popped out of range up here. Not too concerned about that. Again, we do have a rule of at least 48 hours before you rebalance. So we're not just like chasing the rebalance, we let things settle. But anyways, earning fees the whole time, earn whatever I've earned, right? You get the point. Now, what if your range is here and it pops out of range for a second and you have some auto rebalance feature without any kind of time delay and it just 50-50 is your position. So let's say you entered here at 50-50, you've been earning fees throughout, you get out of range here, and what if you're rebalancing or you're auto rebalancing? What if you rebalance it and you go 50-50 again? Bam, bam. So you're buying Bitcoin in this instance as the price of Bitcoin keeps declining. Now, if it hits your lower level yet again, 53,000 in this example, it either auto triggers a rebalance because that's the way you have it set up and you have no time delay, or you do it manually. You're just like, oh yeah, I'll auto rebalance, click, 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 set a new range, wham, bam, done. And yet again, you'll chase Bitcoin back down. So obviously your pool value will keep going down, but you're going to keep locking in that impermanent loss. Let me know in the comments if this is making sense so far. Well, Lucas, what can you do about this? Isn't that what rebalancing is? And the answer is no. Let's go over to VFAT. I'm going to show you something here. I've been in range for quite a while here, and I keep earning every single day, 100, 150, 200 bucks from some of these positions. And let's just say I get out of range on this one, which I'm still quite a ways away, but let's just say I get out of range. I could use a tool like VFAT. So instead of rebalancing right back to 6% on the downside, 6% on the upside, or basically just like a 13, 14% rebalance, throwing it right back in the middle, locking in all that impermanent loss, I can do what's called a snuggle rebalance. So if this thing goes 1 or 2% out of range and starts slowing down, again, I got my 24 to 48 hour rule before I rebalance. I'll usually wait it out because many times it just comes back into range. But if I do choose to rebalance, I can do what we call the snuggle rebalance. So it may look something like this, which both of these positions I entered with almost all ETH. What does that mean? I basically entered it on the downside of a range. So when ETH dropped and plummeted in price, I got into both these positions with around $10,000. The pool value is up slightly because, again, I entered it on the bottom of the range when prices of ETH just kind of stopped, when they stopped slowing down, when I felt like they hit the bottom. I got into this with pretty much 100% ETH, so it looked a lot like this, and 13, 14, 15% to the upside. So now as the price of ETH goes up and the pool is basically selling that ETH, so instead of being 100% ETH, 0% USDC, at one point I'm 90% ETH, 10% USDC, I'm basically laddering out. Also why this pool value has increased in value, so to speak, although I haven't sold it, so I haven't made money, haven't lost money. Remember, we're doing this for fees. The fees that I collect every single day, that I make. I take it, I lend it, and then I redeploy it when the market's kind of correct. But in this instance, I don't care that this pool is worth more, just like I don't care when my pool is worth less. People freak out about this and they're like, oh, my whole portfolio is down by, it's not. You haven't sold it. But when you rebalance it and you're aggressively rebalancing, you do lock in that impermanent loss, which of course are fees more than make up for it if you have a well-built portfolio. But you get the point. And then depending what you're doing with those fees, you can earn yield on those. So now you're really accelerating your momentum. But just remember, you don't have to do a rebalance that looks like this. Your traditional kind of boop, smack down in the middle, lock in a bunch of impermanent loss. You could do the Snuggle rebalance, or remember, you can enter positions like this. So you don't have to enter a position at 50-50 and buy 50% ETH, 50% USDC. I see potential in this coin or token. You can always enter it with a bit of a snuggle entry that would look a lot like this, and you can ride the price appreciation here, and you can enjoy the increase in value of your pool. So when we say and use the word snuggle, that's ultimately what we mean. And I really, really hope that helps. If you have any questions or follow-ups, do let me know below. I did do a lot of these entries live, and so I was just kind of showing people what I was doing. I'll see if I could find the videos and post them up here somewhere, but basically that's what I did. And if it goes out of range slightly, I'll sometimes snuggle rebalance it so I can keep collecting fees and lock in a bit of impermanent loss. But when I do the calculation, fees are more than keeping up with the impermanent loss. So versus a hodl position, you're well ahead, especially when you play this game right. And this is, again, what people miss. They're like, oh, my position is down by, my whole portfolio is down by 1,000, and I've only made $1,000 in fees, so I really broke even. Well, you didn't. Because depending what you do with those fees, if you're strategic with it, those are probably going to grow. And as long as you're invested in blue chip assets, those are probably going to return to where they were and keep going up when all things considered. There's a big difference between hunting and farming. And I think hunting is like income creation. Now. I need to eat now. Whereas investing is like farming. I'm going to sow seeds. And through this season or next season or in 2, 3, 4 years, I'm going to reap those rewards. I'm going to eat the fruit from the seeds that I've sown. So again, if you've got a zoomed out approach, invested in blue chip assets or things that have long-term potential, the fluctuation in total portfolio value, I don't concern myself with much. That's inevitable. It's the fees that I'm earning and what I do with those fees that dictates how successful of a DeFi investor I will be. Really hope that helps. With that said, I'm going to zip on out of here. If something landed, then do let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and what I will do is I will leave 4 videos in the 4 corners of your screen. Dive into them, study up, hang out on this channel for an hour or two, and just study. Study up. With that said, I'm going to let you go. Peace.